Hell is a part of the afterlife. And so for somebody to say they don't know, it's reasonable.
Well, you better know I'm going wherever you going. Better be your only answer.
I don't know where I'm going in the afterlife because I've never
are we going to be hand to hand?
I hope so. Now you want definitive answers on the afterlife? I don't understand how we got here. Like,
are we going hand to hand?
Okay, I'm done.
Because if we ain't, I'm calling Pastor Cal. To our channel. Thank you so much for joining us again. I'm your girl Zar Eleanor. This is my beautiful husband, Zar Conner. And come on in and warm up next to this dumpster fire. We like to call Married at First Sight.
Babe, that was hilarious.
Was that
good? Next to this dumpster fire?
Yeah. Come on in, everyone. While we talk about the show that is Married at First Sight season 17. I don't even know where we're going from here. The gas is dropping like flies. I feel like this is almost like watching Survivor. Like we're like
it is.
Voting people off the island week to week. I didn't know this was that kind of show.
I think that this might be one of their worst seasons ever. This has got to be the lowest batting average that they've ever had. And I'm sure at this point that they are asking people to come back and film because... And I'm talking Michael, I'm talking Lauren and Orion.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm almost certain that they are asking people to come back and film because they are terrified that they will have no one that is still actually married to film the show up to decision day.
We are just making it in this episode to the 1 month anniversary.
This is the 1 month and we've already had...
We're just making it.
Almost two couples. We've already lost basically two couples.
Yes, for whatever reason.
And almost three at this point, just on the episode of the 1 month. Because we got to count Michael. Michael was also a couple that never happened. So before we even get to the 1 month, we have Michael, Lauren, and Orion who are basically no longer on the show.
Right. And I feel like, what? There needs to be severe intervention happening, and there is not. So let's dig on in. Let's begin with Austin telling Becca, you're going to hell. Let's start there.
Ha! I thought this whole situation was overblown.
The more I look at it, the more she's overblown. But the situation is not overblown.
Here's why I think the whole thing is overblown. Austin, by all accounts, is not this like strict, devout Christian.
No.
Who is in Bible study on Wednesdays, and if there's a 9 and 11 and a 1 o'clock service, he's at all three of them.
But do we know that?
I'm saying he does not come across as that, and they have not spoken like he was that.
Have you met a Mormon?
He hasn't. Is he Mormon? He's not Mormon.
I'm asking you, have you met a Mormon?
Yes, but he's not Mormon, is he?
I'm not. I don't know what he is. Okay. I just know he thinks she's going to hell.
From what I gather, his family is Christian.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he, by all accounts, is not this starch, devout Christian who is in church 4 days a week and who is walking around condemning people to hell. So when they have talked, in fact, most of the time they've talked about religion. Before this episode, he's kind of been super nonchalant about the whole thing. He's talked about what his background was, but there was nothing fiery and passionate about that part of any conversation.
But he don't get fiery and passionate about anything.
He doesn't, but I'm just stating a fact.
Okay.
There was nothing fiery or passionate about that part. So they fast forward, they come into this episode and they're having this conversation. All we know, she starts crying saying, well, I'm crying because he thinks I'm going to hell. So when Pastor Kyle unpacks this whole situation, he reveals to me that he asked Austin, have you been to the afterlife? Which I thought was a great question. Because I think you should ask anybody that question.
Who loves to tell you that you're going to hell.
Or love to tell you where you going, period, in the afterlife. You finna get caught up with the 74, or you going to hell, or you going here, or you going to the motherland to meet the rest of your people. Whoever it is, the one thing that Pastor Kyle was spot on about it was nobody walking the earth knows what's happening after this. So he asked Austin, would you agree with that? Austin said yes. He asked Becca, would you agree with that? She said yes. So the one thing that I think him and Dr. Pia do a really good job is finding the commonalities and conflict, right?
Both of them. Sometimes you need that.
Yes. And that's I think both of them are really good at that. So the commonality here, you both agree that none of us know what the hell we talking about when we talk about what's going to happen in the afterlife. So at that very point, Austin is coming over, is speaking to Pastor Cal's point, saying, yeah, that's right. I don't know what's happening in the afterlife. She interrupts him and goes, but you said that you think I'm going to hell. So in their conversation talking about his beliefs, he told her that his belief system is of that. He said, that's what I was taught. Which is what I was taught, right? I grew up under a bishop, Bishop Ravenel, who his whole stigma was hell and brimstone. Like he was this hellfire and brimstone preacher, which that's the part of religion that is holiness or hell, meaning you do what we do or you're going to hell, right? That's what I was taught. Me just telling you that that's what I was taught doesn't mean that I'm telling you going to hell when you leave here. It's just me telling you that's what I was taught. Some people was taught if you eat pork, you're going to hell, or wherever the hell you're going, right? So I think I'm wrapping up, but so I think that she was taking a simple conversation about them talking about their beliefs and their background, and she was running with it, even in the face of commonality. Even when Pastor Cal perfectly landed the plane and said, Austin, do you think you know what's happening in the afterlife? And he said, no, I don't.
Okay, so I want to go with you. Do I think that Becca is overdoing it, y'all? Yes. Full stop. I think she's overdoing it. But the second part of this for me is that if I put myself in Becca's shoes, I don't know that I would react the way she does. You wouldn't. I promise. But hear me out. But I understand where she's coming from, and I want to give you guys a different idea about this. If you're wanting to be the greatest drummer alive, right? And I would be like, just based on how I was raised, I don't even believe that's possible for you. Whether you love me or not, that is going to affect the relationship, period. Because I do not believe in you. And whether or not that's what you believe in or not.
Example. That's not apples to apples.
Okay, well, the point is, if we're together and you have any inkling that I am going to hell, there is a problem.
My question was, in your analogy, what if the person is saying that they don't know? Because I never heard him. Never heard him say that he was.
In my analogy, I didn't say I didn't know. And what she said, because I watched the after show. I ended up watching the after show, after all, because I had time. And in the after show, Keisha asked her. This was a good after show, by the way. I got a lot of context. In the after show, Keisha asked her, well, what actually happened? She said they were watching TV. Oh, no, he was creating a hat for, he's designing hats, but they're religious hats. And she said something to the effect, well, I don't know if I might be going to, something about going to hell. And she said, well, do you believe I will be going to hell? And he said, that's how I was raised. To me, the statement, that's how I was raised, and y'all could color it in, because I know y'all know the details. Y'all color it in for Uncle Joe. For me, to even say that's how I was raised is your way of absolving yourself of having an opinion in this moment, because you actually do think I'm going to hell. You just do not want to say it. I do not care what nobody says, because he's been choosing his words this whole mother jumping time, and you cannot deny that.
He has been, but I don't think it's a negative thing. I think he just said what I just said about you telling somebody your history.
No, right? I don't think what he said was negative, was meant to be negative. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it would give me pause if I'm with somebody who isn't worldly enough to understand that people can have separate beliefs, and it does not mean that they're going to hell or not.
But this is not speaking to whether he's worldly enough. This is speaking to whether or not he has the conviction that I think she's trying to put onto him about his own religion, which I don't believe he has. So
And also, if you're at the point where you're making hats for Christ, you are very much Christian. Okay.
He's closer to indifference than he is devout. So I think that
Joe, he's making hats for Christ.
He's a
for
hat
Christ.
If he has ties, with any business, you got to get in where you fit in. If he has ties to a Christian-based audience and they are buying his hats, then why wouldn't he be making Christian hats? That's how you make your money.
Because if I'm anybody else who is just living a worldly life,
I know people who make a lot of Christian paraphernalia who do a lot of things in the world. This does not matter to me.
That's not what I'm saying. I don't want to question his belief structure because we do not have that information. And I think that's moot. I want to literally talk about.
That wasn't the point I was making.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, my thing was about whether or not I think she was trying to put onto him these definitive answers that he did not have because he doesn't have that type of conviction. We were just around somebody who had no problem making it very clear that she thinks you're going to hell if you don't believe what she believes.
She was 20 years old, and these kids can barely read and write. So
it doesn't matter. The point of the fact is that there's a difference between somebody who absolutely has that conviction. They will tell you straight up, yes, you're going. I grew up around them.
But
I went to school with him.
First of all, I don't think you're wrong. I do not think that you are wrong. But I think that his ability to circumvent and finesse these questions.
He does that with everything.
But specifically, the fact that she keeps coming back to religion and we haven't nailed this down is weird to me.
They haven't nailed anything down.
But also weird to me. Right? That doesn't negate the fact that isn't weird also. I'm saying in this moment, we're talking about religion. It's to me, I think he is more devout than what he lets on. Because if you weren't, you would just say that. And I literally use Republicans and Democrats all the time. The only people who don't like to talk about politics are Republicans. Because when you're in a room full of Democrats, they don't have no problem with telling you they stance on stuff.
The thing about him is he doesn't like to talk about anything. And it's very clear that proof is in the pudding, y'all. He's been doing this since week 1, right? He's the one thing he's consistent on is being inconsistent. He's consistently inconsistent. He don't talk about nothing all the way straight through. You know what I mean? So that's why I think that there's just a lot of assuming and assumptions going on, I do think it's a lot of that. And I think that part of his elusiveness in conversation has something to do with her and how she comes in. I mean, straight from the gut, looking for the negative. They was having a conversation. He's basically confessing his love to her. And after he speaks, her response is, you don't have any answers for me. She starts out meeting him where he was.
Wait a minute, when was this?
This is, remember, Becca and Austin was talking, they was talking I don't remember where they were. I think they were at dinner.
Oh, I remember. And I'm like, did she just go left?
We literally were like, did she listen to what he said? It would be
You're right. They were at dinner.
It would be tantamount to us sitting here on this couch and me literally telling you how much I think you have improved on things that we talked about in therapy as a wife, how I see your growth, how I love spending time with you, and your response being, and I think that, you have been great as well, and I just would love for you to just get better at having answers for me because, you really just haven't answered none of my questions, and I've been asking you to, we're not having the same conversation.
So, you're right. And I do think that she can be, because he kind of said something where he was like, he's exhausted or something like that.
He said emotionally
and mentally.
And draining or exhausted or something
right. He was around there. And to me, she gives exhaustive because the way that she was crying when they first, she literally did, he thinks I'm going to hell. And then she did, but the other day he told me he loved me. And I was like, what are we watching? And full disclosure, I had an edible. So everything was a little, bright to me anyway. But it made me uncomfortable.
But it made me do the Shannon Sharp meme.
It just was weird.
This is it.
Even him saying I'm really glad where we are. I'm excited about us. He's trying to reaffirm her. It might not be we might have some differences on the religion front, right? But I'm trying to affirm that I'm going to be here in spite of that.
Because 1,000% at the heart of all of this, if this mattered so much to him,
yeah.
Becca, he would not be married to you. Period. People who stand on their religion to the end of the earth don't marry people who don't agree with their religion. Trust me, I grew up around them. I am a pastor's child. I spent the majority of my life growing up around all different types and different shades of Christians. Yeah. The devout ones, the I really don't give a F ones, the ones in the middle, the ones that are somewhere in the middle there. I've seen all shades of them. And so my whole point about whether or not he has the conviction that she is, I think, trying to project on him is that if he had it, he would not have married, he wouldn't still be married to you. And he wouldn't be having these conversations trying to navigate this so that he can stay married to you. Because the ones who do have that conviction don't believe in marrying. It's called unequally yoked. Go look it up. Google it.
Why are you yelling at me?
Because I think that this is asinine.
Do you feel triggered?
No, I don't. Because I've never been in this position. We talked a couple weeks ago about how I navigated being in different religions and stuff like that, and dealing with people that believe in different things. My wife was the same way, like very much so, like comfortable having conversations, very much so accepting of my religious background, even though it's being different from her religious background. She was raised Muslim, I was raised Christian. We had those conversations, and I've never been in this situation that he's been in. So I see her like doing all the histrionics and all of that other stuff. And it's just annoying because I'm like, she's overblowing this 100%, because the people who have those type of convictions don't try to stay married to people who don't believe in what they believe in. They just don't.
Okay. So let me ask you this, and you're going to get annoyed with me, but just based on your beliefs, do you think I'm going to hell?
No. So to answer your question, no, I don't. One of the things that made it very easy for me to navigate this discussion when we had it is because we both lean into spirituality. And I believe that spirituality usurps religion. To me, religion is man-made. Just like Pastor Cal made another good point when he said, which Austin agreed to, y'all, so just follow me here. Yes. When he said, if you're talking about somebody who grew up in Afghanistan, the religion of the land, the entire land, right, is Muslim or Islam. If we're having a conversation about that person is, we can both agree that person obviously didn't have the chance to recognize Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. Do you think that person is going to hell? And Austin said, no, I get you. This is what we talking. Yes. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
So that's why when I was pushing back, because I'm seeing all of these things of somebody who don't stand on their religious business like that. Right. So, but you're crying as if he's beating you over the head at night with a Bible. I couldn't even believe
she was crying.
And I'm like, girl, I'm listening. I watched the whole Pastor Kyle thing, and I'm like, are you listening to him?
Well, I think you put that perfectly. I want to say that. And like I said, I can understand how she might feel away because you gave me a no, right? And I do think there was a time maybe when we were younger and we didn't have like the greater understanding of the world and of each other. Maybe Joe's answer may have been different, but
no, my answer wouldn't have been different. I was never
I wasn't trying to say like a bad thing.
No. I was just speaking to it. I was never hellfire and brimstone.
Yeah.
Since I was very young, I could understand that there were differences in the world, and it was always hard for me to believe that if everybody didn't do the same thing, the rest of everybody else was going to a sunken place, which we don't even know that place was.
And Joe don't really like to be told what to do anyway. So if somebody was telling him hellfire and brimstone, that probably wasn't the person for him.
Like I say, I just know people who live by that. I know people who preach that, and that always seemed a bit extreme for me. Mm-hmm. And I was always, because I was in a diverse space, I always had to think beyond and be accepting of other people's beliefs and religions and how they did things. Yeah. I don't like when people cloak one religion with a lot of negativities as if you don't look at it like directly and closely, you don't see the same idiocies and ridiculousness and flaws in all types of religion. Right. It doesn't matter whether you're a Jew, or whether you're a Christian, or whether you're Muslim, or whether it doesn't matter what you are. Like, there's a lot of man-made things that to somebody else would be silly, or to somebody else is offensive, or to somebody, you know what I mean? All of them have it. Uniform, they have it. So for me, it was very easy for me to grab hold of spirituality, which made more sense to me, because that to me said we can take the religious labels away. Yes. And focus
there's something at work here. And we should be aligned under that.
That's it.
We're aligned.
Yeah. I also can get on board with somebody saying they don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because my true,
I
because
also
my,
can get on board
because
with
my
that
true
too.
answer is I don't know where you're going in the afterlife. I've never been there.
See,
I don't know.
I think for me, yeah, I get that. I think it's hard. I think I understand what Becca is saying, but I think me personally, in a world where I think I'm supposed to be with a man who worships the ground I walk on, if I'm coming to a man and I ask him, "Do you think I'm going to hell?" and the answer is not no, we got a problem.
But-
from how I interpret things.
But I can still worship the ground you walk on and not know where you're going in the afterlife. Like Pastor Cal said, none of us have
I'm
been
not
there.
talking about where, not knowing where I'm going in the afterlife. I'm specifically calling out hell because I do believe
But that's what
you
I'm saying.
don't know where we're going in the afterlife. But I'm asking you about hell. Okay, She didn't ask him
But
about
if-
heaven. She asked him about hell.
But hell,
Okay?
but hell is a part of the afterlife, and so for somebody to say they don't know, it's reasonable.
Well, you better know. I'm going wherever you going. Better be your only
I
answer.
don't know where I'm going in the afterlife because
But
I've never.
are we
going to
be head to head?
I hope so. Now
better
you
be.
want definitive
better
answers
be.
on the afterlife. I don't understand how we got here. Like, you want
Are we
definitive?
going head to head?
Okay, I'm done.
Because
with
if
this
we ain't,
conversation.
I'm calling Pastor Cal. You know what else I don't like though, guys? And this is a personal thing because I am a professional. When people do not call you by your professional moniker,
I don't like that either. That's a respect thing to me.
it icks me out.
Yeah. I don't
Anybody who knows me, we have doctor friends. I'm like, Dr. Janet,
Uh-huh.
Dr. Natine. Everybody know, and we friends. But I respect you. I'm going to give you the respect. You're an Esquire. It'll forever be, you know what I mean? McGarrell Esquire. It will forever be that.
1,000%. I call my dad doctor sometimes.
For real.
Dr. Conner, because he has it. You know what I
I
mean?
call his dad pastor. I call his dad pastor, rabbi. I call him all the things. You know what I mean? And it's really out of sheer respect for who they are, what they've accomplished. And I think it's weird when people, specifically non-people of color, don't call people by their professional moniker. I don't know why, y'all. I don't mean to make it racial. I don't think that.
To
Brennan,
be honest, I think
think
it is. I'm being honest. Like, I do think it's racial because I think that.
because I don't think Austin is a ist at all.
And
I just think that
to
that's
say
weird.
and to say something is racial is not to say that the person who is committing the offense is racist.
Right.
It's not.
Right.
It's just saying that we live in a world in a country that is rooted in racial trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot of things that people do that they don't even know that they're doing, that they don't even think about, because this is passed down and passed on and learned behavior. This could have came from their family, whatever the case is. And I think that a lot of these racial issues are generational. I think that there's many microaggressions that you can look to and think and draw back to its root being something that is racial.
Yeah.
And I think that that's no different. The same way that I think when people of another pigmentation walk directly towards me and don't move or say excuse me, to me that's racial. You know what I'm saying? Because I would bet a lot of money that when they're walking towards a person matching their pigmentation, that they don't do that.
And that is so that is such an undercurrent.
It is. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, it's very, and you're right, because it's very much an undercurrent of everything. And this is why the systems of racism are so fascinating, because it's something just as small as you're a doctor, I should call you Dr. This. You're a pastor. So not only are you a pastor, but in this capacity, you are a pastor.
Right.
So whether or not I meet a pastor, Pastor T.D. Jakes, or, Pastor Conner, they're both pastors to me. He don't have to be my personal pastor in order for me to acknowledge him as such.
Right.
Does that make sense?
1,000%. Yeah.
So I think that I thought it was kind of odd. I think that Becca is over the top. I think that I always knew she was over the top. I couldn't pinpoint what about her was a little annoying to me. And what it is how she overinflates scenarios. they were at the table talking, and she said, "We're going through it just like you guys. Like sometimes I lock myself in the closet and cry."
But back up and talk about how she got there. She can never give the good without giving the bad. She skews negative. She oozes trauma.
And it might be because of her lack of Jesus.
But
that was good.
yeah. She oozes trauma, and I think that's what I meant when I said that I think a lot of his evasiveness of her conversations is that, because imagine how you would feel about talking to somebody who can turn every sunshine into a dumpster. Oh, I had a great day today. That's good. I had a great day too, but I just found out that Rodney got shot the other day.
Oh my God.
Who want to talk to that person?
But do you think that she kind of does that to make the other couples feel good?
She does.
Oh, okay,
I think she does, but I also think that she's been this person for a long time, and it's second nature to her. I think if you asked her about winning the lottery, she would tell you that it feels great and then follow it up with a negative. It feels great, but now my family is whoop de whoop. Like everyone wants money now, so it's not as great. So don't worry about being broke because it's not as good as being rich. Like I feel like she would just go there. Like you can ask her anything because we all been around these type of people before, and I think that this is a part of her personality at this point. And I would not want to have many conversations, especially serious conversations, with somebody who's constantly trying to drive us into the negative lane.
Yeah, I agree. I could be that way sometimes too, depending on how I'm feeling.
Yes.
I can be
not
like,
nowhere near as bad as her though.
Joe will tell me though, like, you're skewing negative, and I'm like, oh, my bad. Like,
we sitting in the office. We're not even doing anything. We just chilling. It's silent. I'm working. She's on my chair behind me. It's literally this silent. And Zar goes, "So you're not gonna go take me to go get coffee?"
Insert clip.
I was like, "Huh?" Then she repeated herself. "So you're not gonna take me to go get coffee?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? This is a conversation we never had. If you want to go get coffee, we can go get coffee. But you never asked me. You started mid conversation in a negative."
No, I did not start mid conversation in a negative.
Yes, you did.
What did you think I was down here for at 3:00 in the afternoon?
We was talking about something else.
It's not to chit chat with you.
We were chit chatting. We were talking about something completely different for like 10 minutes.
We were. And
then it was silent.
I was just hanging out.
And then it was like, "So you're not gonna take me to go get coffee?" I'm like, wow, how did you start there?
Let's move on. Wait a minute. I don't even know who to talk about. Lauren and Orion were there. They were talking to. So one of the things that I felt was the worst idea on earth was to get. First of all, these kids, it's Cheetos on my goddamn couch. You know I'm gonna bash them in the head when I see them.
Yeah, because that's trauma.
It is. Did you see that whole Cheeto?
No, I didn't. If I seen it, it would not be there.
I'm gonna bash them in the head. And I don't care because we don't gentle aunt and uncle over here.
No.
Okay, so they paired Lauren and Claire and Orion and
Cameron.
Thank you, baby. Cameron together to talk, and I thought it was the worst thing they could have ever done.
This is my frustration. I said this the other week. Why do we keep bringing these singles back?
Because they want to make sure they gotta bring them back because they gotta convince them to stay married. Because otherwise, I'm not watching for just Becca and.
No, not at all.
You know?
But even when they are not, like last season, they bringing them back and we watching them in the park, like walk their dog and stuff, and then we watching them on dates with people who wasn't on the show. Yeah.
But I
this
think
is
the
not
difference,
single at first sight. Like I don't understand.
First of all, all the energy that you're giving is absolutely warranted, and I think the difference is that I don't think that they are done. I don't think that Lauren and Orion are done.
No, they
for
definitely
whatever
done.
their reasons are.
They're gonna film some more.
That's what I mean.
Oh yeah, no.
For whatever their reasons are, like whether or not they want to stay together just to film, just to get a check, just to because it ain't like what do we do for a living? You know
yeah,
what I mean?
no.
He out here, he Tommy hotkey.
Yeah,
you know
I
what
think
mean?
that they definitely, are pulling. Like I said, I meant that. I think they pulling people back because they need content. They need people to film. You can't lose half your cast and be okay. That's really where we're going.
You cannot.
So are they not done filming? Yes, but as a couple, they've been on the Drizzy.
But
They're
I
not
do.
going nowhere.
I can't. But
They're
I
not.
do think that Lauren gave Claire good advice when she said,
The what ifs?
yes, she like, you don't want to like regret making this big decision when you could just see it through. The problem is with Claire is that she's a liar, and she's fake, and she's phony. And I, even after watching the after show, she let some things. She said that she had tried to be intimate with Cameron, and he said no. And she feels like he always says he is so attracted to her, but he just like,
When did this happen is what I want to know.
and that's what the hell Keisha Knight Pulliam, whatever her new last name, asked. Okay? She said, so when did this happen in the spectrum of the 3 weeks that we done known you, mother? When did this happen? She said, well, he did express, this is after he had expressed that he felt disconnected and he wasn't feeling like she was giving him anything. She had went out with the crew, came, with the peoples, and came home and then got in bed and thought she was going, and he was like, no. She said,
So
he
she
said,
stumbled in
ew.
the house drunk,
Yes.
thinking we not even there.
And that is it. See, y'all think men
1,000%.
got rides, and some of them will just jump up and down for whomever. And some of them want to have an actual connection with the person that they're...
1,000, and we're talking about the emotionally intelligent ones. You pissed on this man's grave for 3 weeks, then went out...
Pissed on his head and called it rain.
1,000%. Then went out, came home drunk, and thought y'all was gonna have a intimate connection because you liquored yourself up to do it, which he also now thinks this is not even the real you. You don't even really
How
want to
about
do this.
that?
You just. I could be any Tom, Dick, or Harry. Tom, Dick, or Harry. I don't understand.
said it.
I don't understand why she thinks that we're this dumb.
It's almost the level of gaslighting
Oh, yes.
that is happening
Yes.
is sociopathic.
Yes. Yes.
And as a therapist, or what, I don't know if she's giving therapy to dogs,
Yes.
ducks, or goats,
Yes.
okay? But it ain't people who speak English,
Yes.
all right? Because my thing is, or any other language for that matter, because my thing is, her lack of self-awareness is beyond. And this is from somebody, like, I have done intensive therapy, so I have I'm not a therapist, but I have a very deep sense of self-awareness. So even when I'm like, I could feel myself about to be nasty. So I'm like, I'm not in the best mood. Like, I'm letting you know now. Or if I said something, I'm immediately like, I may have a moment, but I'm immediately sorry. I'm immediately like, oh my God, like, that was not what this was supposed to be. I just let my, whatever nature get ahead of me. And I think that this is very different. Y'all, she almost gives nothing like Brennan gives nothing. And I'm about to insert something here. I wouldn't be surprised if they talking to each other.
To be honest,
Brennan and
Claire.
whatever.
To be honest, I think that Brennan and Claire are a lot more similar than they are alike. I think she just finesses it better. I think that she lacks the emotional intelligence that Cameron has. And I think that coming into this, no one would ever say that sentence on the face of both of them. But I think that at the core of it, that's really what it is. And I think that a lot, even the aspect of her, let's take her coming home drunk and wanting to get in the bed. Even that aspect, somebody who's emotionally intelligent will understand how that could make you feel worse, because now they think the only time you want to be intimate with me is
when
after
you're
you.
And guess what?
That makes you feel
But
worse.
this is how I know that's exactly what he thought, because he said when he was talking to Orion, which based on her timeline, this had to happen before she was talking to her Orion, right? Because the next day basically was the 1 month anniversary. So he says, every time I think I'm done, she does something to reel me back in. Like something that makes me feel like she is into me in some way.
Which is manipulative.
So you don't think when you came in, he didn't already have your card pulled?
Because he's used to this.
Girl, stop it.
He's
Stop
used to
it.
this. And at that point, he's checked out.
He already know you. He
Yeah.
already know you for your works. Are you crazy? My thing is the way that she's trying to make it like, oh, well, he feels like we should get a divorce. He said, on the count of 3, let's say we're going to stay divorced get a divorce or stay married. She says, separated.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, we was born on the day. He only gave you 2 options, ho.
That's the
This
Brennan.
one-
But that's what I mean. But that's what I mean by the Brennan comment. We all know Brennan as trying to self-produce. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell
Brennan
you the
self-produces
truth.
so hard, he's silent.
Literally. But we all know that that's what he does. She's doing the same thing.
Yes.
She's just a little better at it. Like, you know what I mean?
And the only thing is, though, if you, again, I was on the edible last night, so I was, I had superpowers. So when I was watching it, I was thinking, y'all, she keeps saying the same thing. If you go back and listen to every time we see her on the screen, she says the same exact thing.
She does.
He doesn't find me attractive. He doesn't show me that he finds me attractive. The man showed up with this massive bouquet of flowers to say, I want to start over. I figured I'd go back to square one. And you did one of these.
Literally.
Like,
What did she do? Did she pat him on the back? She
But
did
then
something.
was-
It was like
yes, it
so
was
weird. She
something
was like,
like-
thank you.
but for me, it's like, let's say he wasn't attracted to you, right? In this scenario that is married at first sight, him wanting to keep trying is the best result.
Right.
Oh, well, is he forcing himself to be attracted to me? Maybe he is. That's the point of this. Don't you understand? Like, I don't get it.
But that's just her trying to set us up for the victim game that's coming
And
later.
she was crying on
course.
the after show, Joe.
Of
I
course.
was like, white woman, suck those tears back up in your head and stop playing with me. Are you crazy?
I'm not surprised at all.
You're going to start crying. I'm embarrassed to even say this. Girl, the quivering lip and the tears were bored. Bored.
This is the playbook. So we've seen this before.
I'm just like, girl, please. My thing is, I'd rather people come on here and say, he was so funny looking and so weird. He smelled like fermented cheese. I couldn't get with it. I'd rather you be that girl.
Yeah,
Because I could rock with that.
and just be like, because I think the thing that makes me dislike people is the dishonesty that they do, and then just the insulting way that they try to finesse, the viewer.
Yes.
And
I couldn't believe she started
well,
crying.
I tried. I came on to him one night, and then we find out the context is in week 4 after you done. Played this man for a month.
To the
you
left.
got drunk, and then you try to climb in bed, and his emotionally intelligent answer was like, this is not, no. You know what I mean?
And I appreciate him. He a real one. And the reason why we know Cameron is ready for marriage because he told that funky dog head asshole, no.
Yeah.
No, I'm good on you. Because I see what you're trying to do, but you won't get one more week out of me. And I appreciate him for doing that. Because my time is my money. That's my currency.
1,000%, and I knew that they were done when he was sitting in the therapy session. I think was it with Dr. Pierre, and he basically said, "I'm gonna let you finish, but I'm going home." Like,
That's what he said.
yeah. And unlike Brennan, he was actually trying not to hurt her feelings. Like you can tell, it's nothing malicious in it with him.
Yeah.
He just is like, I respect myself, and I know that she's on some bull.
And that's
the difference.
All it is. And she is on some bull.
Yeah.
Because he also said the way she acts in front of...
Is what
He also said that, y'all.
I knew that.
But we knew.
She two-faced in front of the camera.
But we
I'm
knew.
not surprised because she is an overproducer as well. And she is trying to make sure that she comes out of this and her PR is pristine. And
Yep.
I'm the victim.
Yep.
He left me.
Yep.
He asked for the
Oh,
divorce.
yes. She can't wait to say that.
They love that.
But I want y'all to rewind the tapes. I was never jiving with her. Ever. Something about her. I am so good. I call myself a tuning fork. I almost can tell if you're like shy, if you're just not used to being around people. I can pick that up. But I also can pick up when you a nasty, funky dog head ass.
Mm-hmm.
I really can. And I feel like my tuning fork just knew it was something up with her. Let me talk about my fave on the show right now. Emily, the realest one on this joint, high key.
She is.
And who thought we was gonna say that? Because I didn't.
I
I'm
didn't,
not gonna lie. That's a surprise.
It is a surprise.
It's a surprise.
Because Emily,
Me and Emily could be friends.
If you're just meeting her, you think, where did they get this cheerleader from?
And then you get to know this woman, and it's almost like I almost want her to stop telling people that she's been single this long, and more tell people that I've made a choice to wait for the person that is right for me. Because to me, when I see her in these interactions with this deplorable human, she is showing up so well.
I agree, yes.
That it almost says to me that you didn't date these other mother jumpers because you didn't think they was good enough.
Yes.
It wasn't because somebody didn't choose you. It was because you had discernment enough. Just based on how she gets annoyed with him, for what she gets annoyed with him, it's very clear to me that if this was somebody else, she would not be putting up with that. You don't want to show up? Don't. Goodbye. That I appreciate. You know what I mean? Because you have to be discerning, ladies, with your time, because a man will come through and suck you dry. Okay? What do girls say? He'll leave you for dead in the desert with no water. And every single one of them would do it. Not near one of them is good enough to get beyond that. So the truth is, she is absolutely right not to have dated a mother jumper, specifically if they're going to act like that. He is terrible. He is terrible. He is terrible. He is terrible. I've never seen anything like it, because I'm not going to lie. Back in the day, I used to fight men.
But not you laughing.
I know, right? That's not funny. That's not funny. But back in the day, it was not beneath me to bash a mother jump upside his head. I was mentally ill at the time. I've come through that. But I probably would have bashed Brennan in his head. Because the moment he was like, I don't know, well, I feel the same way. I don't know what's going on. Bash at the dinner table. They took me out there in handcuffs.
But do you remember when we had a conversation a while ago? We had one talking about the show, but also just off camera. When I said, everybody does not have the opportunity to meet a person that will fit the mold of being the love of their life or something of that nature. This is what I'm talking about. We first saw Emily and we thought, like, that's weird. Like, what's going on? But then we saw her and we realized, no, she was ready. She could have handled somebody who could handle her. But this is why also I defended, who was that? Was it Woody in his season when he came on? And
yes, you did. Say full circle moment.
This is why I also defended Woody.
Yes,
look at him
did.
now. Couple of the year, couple of the of the show,
of the 17 seasons
of the franchise, literally, right? But this is why I defended him, because
you're absolutely
we
right.
had a conversation a while ago off camera about whether or not we think people meet the person. Why is somebody so and so not together? Why is what would you? And I said, I said a lot of times I think you take. That's why I said what I said about last week about comparing us, because I said I don't think you give us enough credence as far as how unique our situation is, because everybody doesn't meet their person. Everybody doesn't have a person. I start there. I don't believe everybody has a person. Now, I can't tell you the why or everything behind it, but I can tell you that I don't believe everybody has a person. But then I will also tell you that I don't think everybody meets that person. And so I think that when you meet them, you have to jump on it. When you see that there's smoke, you have to turn it into fire. And I just think that Emily is one of those people who just has not met that person. She's emotionally intelligent.
Yes, she is.
She is an attractive person.
Yes, she is.
She is a responsible adult. Apparently, she got a good job, which I didn't know. So shout out to our family in the YouTube verse who did some digging and told us about her background and how she's one of the top finance workers in the industry.
Finance managers, yep.
Yeah. She's one of those people who just hasn't met that person, and I think that that's why when we know
so many women and men.
Yes. Eligible bachelor and bachelorettes
who are like so many.
1,000%. That's why I say what I say when I say that, we should be grateful that we ended up in a situation that we were in as far as our romantic life. We got both, we have things that we are going to improve on. We came a long way. We're by no means perfect, but I'm personally grateful that I met you, and I'm personally grateful that I've been able to experience love at the level that I've been able to experience it at, because I know for a fact that not everyone has the opportunity to do it, and I know for a fact that not everyone is going to do it. Not everyone is going to experience it, and it sometimes doesn't have nothing to do with whether or not you yourself are a good person, or whether or not you yourself are a good catch, or whether you have a good job, or whether you make enough money, or whether it's really just more and more I see things like this, it just confirms that theory for me.
I'm about to cry.
because I mean that, because I think sometimes she been around me since I was a kid, so she like, yeah, whatever, he's cool. You know what I mean?
Literally all the time. I'm like, you alright, y'all, relax.
People who are like, this is, and I'm like, yes, I know. Not, you know what I'm saying? Not cocky, but just like, because I have friends who've tried, and who are now our age or older, and don't have it, haven't experienced it. I've had people who I don't know, people who I've seen on TV, the Emilys of the world. I've had family members. So for me, I just know, like, I always knew, like, this is different. This is special. This is different. And then it wasn't until I got older and I got to meet other people and talk to family, talk to friends, watch people live life on TV and everything like that, where I went, oh, so not everyone gets this? Oh, it's part of the reason why I said, you know what, we just got to get married. I got older and I realized, oh, this don't come along. Like, this is not normal. You know what I mean?
Because we did just, if I tell the story, I'm like, we weren't even talking about getting married, so I don't know how we just got married. I tell people that all the time. I'm like, that's not something we was talking about. We was just vibing.
But when we got back together, I was fully intending, like, this got to be it.
And I was like, I thought we was hanging out. I didn't know.
We have to, because part of my thought process was just life teaching me lessons and just saying, like, yo, this is not normal. This is not normal. You're not going to find this somewhere else. Just because you put yourself in a position to be a catch, or to have to catch someone, doesn't mean you're going to catch them. You can be in the biggest pond with the most fish in the world, and there's a chance that you won't catch a motherfucking thing. And that's the dating world, especially in 2024.
It's worse than that. You might catch something that's radioactive.
I'm about to say. You might catch something that pull you under.
Hello, and then top capsize the whole goddamn boat.
Yeah.
First of all, that was very loving to say.
Yeah.
And I love you for that. It makes me want to cry. Because some days I really, really, he knows. I live in my husband's skin. If he downstairs, I want to be downstairs. He want this one, I want this one. I literally live in his skin, so I do talk a lot of mess. But I just love you, baby. That was very sweet. Oh, yeah. I really, really do. Yeah, let's talk about these fools. Emily is a real one. Emily, girl, call me. I even went blind for you today, bitch. Where's you at? We supposed to be girlfriends. I like Emily, girl. Let me find you a man, and I'm gonna find you one with some coin. Cause anybody, ask them. Ask the girls out. Ask them. Ask my girlfriend's name. Ask them what I'm good at. Cause I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna find you a man, and he gonna have money. I'm good at it, and he gonna love you down to your dirty drawers. I think Emily deserves better. I think Brennan is trash. I've never seen more trash in my life, and I think one of you pick me assholes is gonna be in his DMs talking about, like, oh, I could be the one to make you. Get rid of him. He's trash, and he needs to be on lithium. Dr. P already said it.
Dr. P said, go to therapy, bro.
She said, and that's why you need therapy. And she was absolutely the hell right.
She was.
When Emily was sitting at the table and was making all the faces, they asking questions, she like.
But we could back up, because you could tell that he already is checked out of this process. At their anniversary dinner,
he in a t-shirt.
The girls is in gowns and heels. The guys got on button downs, jackets. He shows up in a hoodie with the most ruffled neck of crew neck t-shirts. And it's just like, we literally.
I'm here so I don't get fined.
Literally. We stopped the show just so I can show Zar and our niece how his face was looking. Because I saw it and I went back, and during the exchange that they were having with, I think it was Claire and Cameron.
Yes.
He's literally like I'm only here because I'm contractually obligated to be. And to me, this is another couple that y'all have to let go. like Lauren and Orion, like Michael and the Mystery Bride. Y'all
I can rock with Michael. I ain't gonna lie, y'all.
No, I said the Mystery Bride. They let that go. They ain't go running after her, asking her to film. You know what I mean? Let these people go.
My thing is this. I like Michael, so any way y'all can get him back on the show, I'm down with, because every time I watch him, I'm like, I like this guy.
I just think that
I do.
He doesn't deserve. I
don't think he deserves.
No. I've said that wrong. I think that I think that they don't deserve for him to give them another chance. That's what I was trying to say.
They absolutely do not. And all the women at the table, he had got all these female friends. I don't know if I can hang with that, Michael. You want to get that together. But he got all these female friends sitting at the table and everything like that, fighting for his love. And I'm sitting there thinking, girl.
No, he was fighting for his love. It was like,
if you want him so bad, just say it out loud. Say it with your chest.
I'm almost projecting that it's going to happen the way that the other show we watched happened.
Oh, my God, TLC. But he ended up being a abuser.
Well, I didn't know
He
that.
went to prison for...
Recently?
Y'all, TLC.
Wait a minute. We got to back up and say what happened first. So what we talking about is on, was it 90
was on 90 Day Fiancé.
90 Day Fiancé. One of the guys, I don't remember his name, was talking to his female friend about the situation that's going on with his fiance. And she just flat out starts confessing her love to him at the table. Like, why didn't you pick me?
And that's why we don't have female friends.
Why didn't you pick me? I've been here all this time. I could be her. I could be better than her. I could hold you down. I'm prettier than her. I'm smarter than her. I'm big. She's little. I'm smart. She's dumb.
And that's why I believe in Jesus Christ. Because Jesus Christ knew not to put a bitch in my lane like that, okay? Because my biggest fear is prison. So, Jesus Christ knew. She was going off. And y'all know exactly who we talking about. He went to prison for kidnapping.
Oh, my God.
And holding somebody hostage, I think.
Oh, that's crazy.
Even though if you just say, no, you can't leave, that's considered holding somebody hostage, high key. So, there's that.
But that's crazy. But anyway.
Guys.
We got off. But I'm watching it thinking, was one of them going 90 Day Fiancé, start confessing they love, like, Michael picked me? Why can't it be
It
me?
was weird.
Like... What?
It was weird.
What?
They don't play about men. I wish a man would sit in my face and tell me a woman don't play about him. Then go play with her then. Because I ain't got time. Because if it's me, bitch, it's either me or her. Big period. Ask him.
True story. I had one female friend. I was in elementary school. I'll never forget it. But she was a tomboy, like a starch tomboy. Like she looked like, this was the first tomboy we had elementary school, so of course. Right. The first tomboy I ever met. I remember her name to this day. I don't want to say it because
I was about to say you should look her up and see if she's still a tomboy.
It's a very unique name. Looked the part, acted the part, played ball with the guys, like all of this stuff, right? We went somewhere when we was young. I can't remember where it was. Like it might have been the movies or something like that. And me and her had got away from the group or whatever, and she was talking to me, and this girl like confessed her love to me. And I thought it was the most awkward thing in the world. I was doing the Homer Simpson meme, like back into the bushes, like
as a kid,
I was like, this is, she was like the most tomboys of time. She was the homie, you know what I mean? And so it was. But
she was really your girlfriend in her mind.
I guess so. And it was the most weirdest thing in the world. So it was almost triggering to watch the girl sit in front of the guy on TLC and go, oh my, because I could see it on his face. He was like.
He was caught off guard. I don't ever want him to feel like that. I've had male friends. I don't give a damn how they feel. High key, most of my male friends, I'm like, I hope that bitch cheat on you. Because you ain't no goddamn good. That's the truth. Most of my male friends I'm talking to, they be talking to me. I don't wish none of them well. I mean, like, you don't act right. I hope that bitch is cheating on you right now. Okay? Like, that's what I'm saying, though. This is, and it's funny because we talk about this all the time. Like, we have friends who be like, oh, you don't believe in female friends? I'm like, no. If you ain't my friend, you're not his friend. And he feels the same way. Because do you think Joe want me to just be up in the middle of the night laughing and giggling at another man's jokes? Any man. Joe don't even like that. I got men, friends who like other men.
I don't care.
He don't like it. I got one friend. Every time he posts something, I be like, "Oh, you the finest man alive. You this, you that." Joe get annoyed by that.
Cause
So it's like,
I don't. It's the human. I don't care.
and
what
he's
you-
married to a man.
I don't care what you claim to be.
Oh my god.
I will never. The one thing I learned from my Christian upbringing was that you will never overtake the flesh. The flesh is the flesh. I don't care what you claim to make it be.
I can't.
So
I like Michael, and I want Michael to do well, and I want Michael to meet a woman who is really nice and good for him, just like everybody else
but
does.
Michael shouldn't trust them.
I don't think Michael should
Because
trust him either.
especially Michael. Listen to me, Michael. Watch this season.
But how
Look
can
at the batting average that they have pairing couples on this season. Michael, you think you're gonna come back and be one of five? You think you're gonna be the only one to make it? You think they botched your pairing so bad that the John left you at the altar? All the rest of your current cast members are falling apart at the seams.
Yes.
You think you're gonna give them a second chance to come back and match you again? And in a season where they're literally like 0 for 5, somehow they're going to get yours right. How?
So you're not going to believe this. Y'all going to think this is weird, but there's this thing called astrocartography. And I'm really big in astrology. Like, I don't want to say I'm big in it, but I subscribe to a lot of it. Let me say that. So, yeah, I'm big in it. But one of these things, astrocartography, kind of shows you where in the world you'll be most successful, where in the world you'll find yourself, where in the world you'll find love, if that's what you're looking for. If I don't know Michael's charts or anything like that, but one, I don't believe he is, something about his spirit is not aligning with Colorado for me, and that's the truth. And I think that if he were in a New York or a LA or San Francisco even, he would have already found the person.
Well, I agree with that. Just look at him. I seen what he was wearing in the last scene that he was in. And
I think Michael's fine.
But I'm thinking, where are you going in Denver? You
You
look like you should be on Melrose Boulevard somewhere going shopping. Like,
and I think he would meet. I think he would immediately meet people aligned with him. I think it's funny because even when the experts talk about him, it's like he's so interesting, and I'm like,
he ain't. He just
I've seen
another
a ton of
Los
men who look-
Angelian. I've seen him
a ton
20
of them.
times a week in
It's
LA. when
almost
we
like
used
I
to
think
live there.
he's cosplaying them. Like it's almost like. So for me, it's like I think he should do. I too believe that. I don't know that I would trust the experts. I think that
I
y'all
wouldn't.
should be looking into getting matchmakers though, because I even think about the women I know who are on the West Coast in LA who are single. I think about them all the time.
To be honest, I think some people are absolutely in the wrong city.
I think you are. I think that location.
Real estate and love.
I really
It's the
do
same.
believe that matters.
A location absolutely matters. I got a friend right now who is divorced, and I know if his big ass was in the South,
Oh.
he would be the talk of the town. And I say big lovingly. That's my
But if her big ass
brother.
was in the South.
That's maybe so.
Yeah.
But I think he would be the talk of the town. Any town, pick a town. Like some people are in the wrong, and I feel that way about a couple of people that I know personally very well.
Yeah.
Some people are just in the wrong city. And speaking of LA is a very hard city to date in.
Yeah.
And it's only getting increasingly harder with time.
Because I got shipped in.
Yes.
And I wasn't even moving to LA.
And when I think about the people who I know who are happily married now, who I know from LA, they're almost all of their spouses, I think all of their spouses are not from LA.
But I don't think LA
Except maybe
natives
one.
is the problem. But I've never dated an LA native, so I don't know. I don't think LA natives are the problem.
No. I 100% agree. I don't think LA natives are the problem, but dating in LA.
I think these people who have changed their
some people
identity
got
to
shipped in, and
be-
some people ended up meeting, but they also from a different place, a
Yeah.
certain place, and so that thing in them connected.
Yeah.
I think that LA natives are not the problem, but I think that dating in that city is very difficult and very hard for certain people.
Yeah.
I don't even think certain people. I think a lot of people, the majority of people. And I think some people who are having a hard time in LA would be living in bounty in other places.
1,000%. 1,000%. And I think it's just what you prioritize at the time, right? Like, I think I actually kind of see Michael Moore on the more I think about it. Because I was thinking, maybe New Orleans?
He should not be in Denver.
I think the point I'm trying to make is that he should not be in Denver.
He should not be in Denver.
I don't think Denver is where you're going to meet him.
It ain't.
I don't think it is. And I think that because if these people are looking at you like you're eccentric, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
You're in the wrong place because he's just himself.
Well,
if we're still using the word eccentric
yes,
in a world where he's just being himself, it's weird to me.
But also, this is why we want a window into this process because, one.
Right.
And two,
Right.
Dr. Pepper basically told on y'all when she said, we're going to go back to this massive pool that we pulled from. But didn't I say this in week one, y'all, when I didn't see no black people on here? I said this pool, I said this show has been around for almost 20 years. I said the applicant pool, I said I don't know the numbers, but I know it's massive. I said that. I said, because if you've ever been...
Oh, my God, it's almost creepy.
It's creepy. If you've been to Colorado, you could pull from Colorado Springs. It's the same way that if you're casting in Jersey, you can cast in North Jersey, South Jersey, Philadelphia, New York, Uptown. Like, you can't tell. Denver is a major city in America. We're not talking about China, Texas. Denver is a major city in America.
We're never talking about China, Texas.
We aren't. But... it was
Shout
so
out
many
to
people
y'all.
like, it ain't no black people in Denver in the comment. Woody. BS.
Even me, because I did feel that way. But I do think that is a very good observation.
But I think by year 17, every casting season is a massive pool of people. You cannot convince me. I don't care if they're in Denver or if they're in Ohio or if they're in Cleveland.
And every casting pool should have a diverse group.
1,000%. There's no excuses. Go back and rewind the tape, y'all. Y'all probably didn't catch that because y'all wasn't the ones making this tape. But I'm always looking for receipts. And she said, yes, we're gonna go back to this massive pool of people we pulled from.
I'm gonna bash these kids in the head. It's not but Cheetos in these goddamn seats. The last thing I wanted to say was Claire said that there's no handbook for being on this show, but there's only just 17 seasons.
17 seasons, y'all. This show been going on for almost 20 years.
There's no handbook, but there is 17 seasons of footage.
You can go. You got multiple experts, counselors, cities, multiple cities, multiple ex-cast members. And they all are accessible. You can talk to them. They on social media. We've personally talked to cast members from the show. I talk to a few of them every week.
Oh my God! Don't do that. He does.
Am I?
I said he does.
They're here, y'all. Y'all can talk. They aren't off in the stratosphere somewhere. If you apply to be on this show, I would implore you to reach out to somebody who has been on the show. You can talk to them. They are accessible. These people are not grade A celebrities that you got to go through their agent and their agent. And they not. They here. They in the world.
And don't get on the show. Some of them deserve to be celebrities. Do not get me wrong.
I don't think any of them deserve.
Bria.
Who Bria?
The one that was married to the Puerto Rican guy, the Dominican guy. I like them a lot.
She cool. Yeah,
they got a cute little baby girl. Woody and Imani deserve to be celebrities.
Now,
I do not
Woody
care.
and Imani, yes.
What anybody says.
I will stand for them.
That's the extent of my list. But the point
That's it.
The point I'm trying to make is, I do think that I don't know. This whole season is trash.
It is.
It's. I hope
throw it away. You have to throw it away because
I don't know what to say.
In sports, every now and then there is a game, and sometimes I remember being in high school, and we wrapping this up, y'all. I promise y'all. I remember being in high school, being on because we gotta go. We gotta go. I remember being in high school. And our coach, she knows our coach. Our coach he would ride our ass about every little thing.
I would ignore this man so vehemently.
Well, he was a yeller.
Shut up.
He was a big yeller. He was coaching us like we was playing for the NBA Finals every game. right? Am I lying?
No,
I
you're
mean,
not
screaming,
lying.
yelling,
Yes.
throwing stuff. He looked like at one time he was so mad. I thought he was literally gonna have a heart attack. His veins
And
was
his
coming out his
eyes
neck.
like big.
He was so mad,
like,
and we was just playing, Imhotep, like another Chargers, like you know what I mean. One time we played this team. This team has we didn't know it at the time, but this team has 3 guys in the NBA. 2 of them.
not prep.
She already know who I'm talking about. This team has 3 people in the NBA.
Literally.
We got beat so bad by this team that it was the first time I did not see him upset. Right? That's how bad we look. Like we got destroyed.
Y'all shouldn't have been playing them high kids.
They were in our division.
But right, because we were
in our
all like
divisions.
these smaller
It was a small
schools.
school.
Right.
They just was cheating. They was recruiting players.
Yeah.
So they had recruited these guys that ended up.
It was like the Monstars.
It was literally the Monstars.
Yeah.
And I will never forget it. We got beat so bad that he was just like, "Good job, y'all. We gonna go ahead. Practices tomorrow." He didn't yell. This is y'all season. So every sports, every now and then, there's a game that you just literally have to forget about. You trash it. You literally just trash the game and you don't talk about it because it was so bad that there's nothing to learn from it.
But y'all wasn't supposed to win any damn way.
But they always say you're not as good as you are when you win. You're not as bad as you are when you lose.
Right.
But this season is trashable. Like y'all can chuck this. Don't think about it. Y'all lost 50-0.
Yep.
Like just trash this and move on and don't do whatever y'all did to pick this cast. Don't do it again.
Yep.
Don't say, "Oh well, we ain't have enough."
Whatever y'all did, scrap the whole
because y'all did something
plan.
different. It was the first cast that wasn't diverse.
Yep.
Didn't have a black couple. Didn't have this. Didn't have that. Y'all was doing something different.
That's a good
Don't do it
point.
again. I'm gonna give y'all grace. Y'all got blown out. Trash it.
Joe just gave y'all pep talk. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to say there's waters by the side if everybody's going to. Just grab your water. Security will escort you guys out. Make sure you get to your car safe. I'm your girl, Intisar Eleanor. This is my head coach, Joseph Conner. And we'll see you beautiful mothers later.